Hi everyone, welcome to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for tuning in this Wednesday afternoon for the 4 p.m. show. I'd like to thank Laura Afonso for hosting the food and beverage at the 3 p.m. hour. But would like to welcome in my first guest, Jeff Sullivan, the director of the newest production at the Barker Playhouse in Providence, The Shadowbox. Jeff, thanks you for joining today.
Okay, thanks for having me. You know, I love talking about theater and acting and directing, and especially the Barker Playhouse, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we've featured Barker before. We had Butterfinger's Angel right around the holiday season, but this Shadowbox opening this weekend. I want to talk a little bit before we talk about the production. I want to talk about you.
Sure.
I want to talk about your journey to Barker and let folks know a little bit about you and your career.
Well, great. Well, thank you. So I majored in theater and directing in college and took a long time to get back to it. Like most folks, I decided I'd rather not be a starving actor in New York or Los Angeles and got a real job. So I was away for theater for a long time and relocated to Rhode Island about 20 years ago. And about 10 years ago, I joined the Barker Playhouse, and I've been in love with it ever since. So we've been fortunate to act in several productions, direct several productions, and my wife and I do it together too. She's a stage manager extraordinaire, so it's something that we love to do together.
And so let's talk a little bit about when you look ahead at the season to come and how you put together that season lineup, if you will, and the decision to go with the Shadowbox.
Well, you know, first thing we look at when we're choosing a season is, okay, is the subject matter of the topic, is it relevant to what's happening in the times? Second thing is, will the audience like it? Will they respond to the show? And certainly with the plethora of theater here in Rhode Island, would we be able to cast a play too? So with those three things all came together, and the Shadowbox made the cut for this year. So we're very excited.
So let's talk a little bit about how the Shadowbox fits that criteria. Talk about the relevancy standpoint. I've seen the snippets from it. It talks about it taking place over 24 hours, 3 separate cottages, and people at a hospital.
Well, the Shadowbox, a little bit of background, the Shadowbox won the Tony Award and the Pulitzer Prize for Best Play in 1977. I first was exposed to the Shadowbox when I was in college. I immediately fell in love with the play, and I've been wanting to direct it ever since. So this is a real dream come true. As you mentioned, the play takes place over a 24-hour period on cottages of a private hospital. The story centers around 3 people who are experiencing end-of-life issues, and they agree to be part of a psychological study into death and dying. And what I love about the play is the message. It's about life and love and what really matters. This smell, this touch, this look, those kinds of things. And I think what you like about the play is the dialogue. It's warm, it's beautiful, and it's funny all at the same time. And you know, today we need more warm, beautiful, and funny.
Warm, beautiful, and funny. It sounds very poignant as well. Let's talk a little bit maybe about the casting process.
Well, sure. Well, the casting process, you know, the subject matter is serious. There's no doubt about that. But when we were looking to cast the show, we wanted to cast actors that had that nuance, that can bring that reality and that comedy and that pathos or pathos to the show. So we're fortunate. We have a great cast.
And so I think folks who might not know the ins and outs of theater are often curious to get a little bit of that behind-the-scenes look. So the Shadowbox is decided upon. You go through the casting process. Go through a little bit of the nuts and bolts about just what it takes to put on a production of this magnitude.
Well, you know, what's interesting about the players is that we put on theater for the members, by the members. So everybody here is a volunteer. So if you're ever interested in learning what it's like to be on stage or what it's like to work backstage, definitely check us out. Well, the first thing is it comes down to the casting, and I think that all starts with the director. You know, for me, I want to have a vision of the play. What is it that the play is all about? And I always start with a metaphor. Most of the time I pick the music, but I start with a metaphor. And the metaphor for this play is if you look up Shadowbox in the dictionary, it means sparring with an imaginary partner as a form of practice, or a box with a clear protective cover to protect things of value. And that's really, to me, that's what the play is all about. So we go through the casting. We have open auditions. We'll read from the script. Sometimes we'll ask folks to prepare monologues. But what you're really looking for too sometimes when you cast is, you know, is there camaraderie? Is there a sense of connection between the characters?
So opens up this weekend, and as you said, poignant, warm, and funny. What's more needed at this time? Give us a little bit of the nuts and the bolts of the run of the production, and of course we'll be providing links for folks who are watching as well.
Okay, great. Well, the play opens this Friday, 7:30 at the Barker Playhouse, 400 Benefit Street. We run 2 weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday at 7:30, Sundays at 2 p.m. For more information on how to get tickets or learn more about the Playhouse, please visit playersri.org. Did I steal your thunder there?
No, absolutely. We'd always like to give a double whammy. Once when you're listening now, once when we have a link up later. You know, folks can't be reminded too many times about where to find more information as well. What else should folks know about this production as they're sitting here watching? And as we've talked about, Rhode Island has such a great theater scene. And as you said, making the plug for the Shadowbox again, giving that warmth, that human quality that you say that people you think are really in need of at this time.
Well, what's really interesting, I think you'll find about this play is it does take place in the 70s. So we're doing it as a period piece. So the costumes and the way we're approaching it, it's a little nostalgic, certainly, but at the same time, I think people resonate with the story and the message. What really matters is the love that we have for each other. I think that's what's going to resonate the most.
Well, it sounds like in these kind of winter months, having something a little warm and fuzzy might be just what the doctor ordered. Now, I don't want to get ahead of our skis here as to say what's next besides maybe taking a deep breath after this run of the Shadowbox.
Well, you know, what's next for my wife, Bonnie, and I is we're going to take a little bit of a break is what we're going to take. But we have a couple other plays coming up, so definitely check out the Barker Playhouse. The schedule will be there, and you'll be able to purchase tickets there, too.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come down the hill here downtown and talk with us. I know we're sending you back up for rehearsals. But Jeff Sullivan, director of the Shadowbox at the Barker Playhouse, thank you so much for taking the time to come down and tell us a little bit more about the show.
Kate, my pleasure. Thanks very much.
Well, we're going to tack from theater to education here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.